In my opinion, Victory at Verrado is hands down the best retirement community in all of the Phoenix Valley, but that does not mean it is the right choice for everyone. For some people, a community like Pebble Creek or a Trilogy community is going to be a better option for them. And today I'm going to be talking about what makes Victory my highest rated community, but I'm also going to go over some of the downfalls that the community has, because there are certainly some downsides that may be a deal breaker for what you're looking for. By the end of this video, you're going to know everything there is to know about Victory, whether it's good or bad, and it'll help you make your decision if you're considering one of these communities. The amenities here in Victory are going to leave you speechless. They have one clubhouse here in the community, and it is situated up on a hill above the rest of the community. You have amazing mountain views here and views of the Phoenix Valley down below, as well as the golf course, and it just provides amazing scenery. But what steals the show here are the 4 outdoor resort style pools. These resort pools are very luxurious, and you back right up against the mountain, so you have gorgeous views. You can bring your drinks out here in this pool and just lounge. They also hold classes out here, and they just did a really great job. This is probably my favorite pool area in any of the 55 plus communities. But you know what people like best about this clubhouse? There are no children allowed. In a lot of these other communities, it bothers residents a lot of times because there are kids allowed at the clubhouse and in the pool. Kids are going to be running around, splashing water, just being rambunctious like kids are, and you're trying to enjoy your retirement. So you were kind of trying to get away from that, and Victory has had a great solution to that. You can still bring your grandkids when they visit you. There is a pool down in the Verrado section, which is the all ages section. There is a pool that you have access to there. It has a splash pad, and it's just way more kid friendly. It has some lounging areas, and that's where everyone has to bring their grandkids, so that the Victory amenities are only 55 plus, and they're going to be quieter, calmer. And the best part about it is you can bring your drinks out there, wine, cocktails, whatever you want to do. You can have those out there at the pool, whereas these other communities, you may not be able to have that because they allow children in there. So I think this is a great solution that Victory has. You can still have a great time when your grandkids visit you, but you have your private, relaxing pools that are only adults. Aside from the amazing pools that they have at this clubhouse, they have a restaurant and bar, they have a billiards room, they have a spa, a fitness center, of course, pickleball courts, tennis courts, and pretty much anything that you can imagine they have here. They have an art studio with huge glass walls overlooking the valley, and it's just a really beautiful place and setting here. There are also different community clubs that you can join, like ceramics, wine club, pickleball club, sewing, things like that they do to get together and just give you a lot of activity to do and meet new people. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're looking at these amazing amenities and thinking, how much is this going to cost me a month? And of course, there are going to be HOA fees associated with a community like this. So you're going to pay 2 HOA fees here. One is the master Verrado HOA fee, and then one is the Victory specific fee. So this is going to cover your access to all of the amenities, the community maintenance, and things like that. The total of that comes out to $240 per month. And you also pay a capital improvement fee one time when you move into the community, and that is based off the purchase price. If you're looking into moving into Victory, I bet you're looking into other communities too, and you're wondering, what are the fees like in Victory compared to some of these other communities? Are they higher, lower, pretty average? And I get that question a lot. So what I've done is I've put together a guide that goes over all of this. All you need to do is send me an email, and I'm going to send that guide right over to you completely for free to help you out. And this guide is going to go over all of the different HOA fees, the capital improvement fees, the home prices, how many homes are in the community, the amenities that they have, and just general comparisons of all of the communities. So just send me an email and I'll send that right over to you. One of the biggest issues that people have right when they drive into Victory at Verrado is that they notice the community is not gated. And that's completely true. Victory at Verrado is not a gated community, so sometimes it'll make people feel a little bit less secure, especially when leaving for a couple months at a time. And I do get that. that. Honestly, I wish they did gate Victory at Verrado because it's just more appealing for retirees, but overall, this is a very safe area, in part due to the location. So you're a little set aside here in Buckeye, you're right up against the White Tank Mountains, so there is just no through traffic in this area. So anyone driving through is either living here or they are visiting someone that lives here. So that naturally will bring crime down in the area, and of course, this is a higher end community. I mean, Verrado as a whole and Victory is a higher end area. So naturally, there's going to be less crime here, and it's also very family oriented. So the crime is really low in Verrado itself, but I do get the concern that it is not a gated community. Victory is an extremely active area. You are right up against the mountains, so of course there are a ton of hiking trails and mountain biking trails and things like that. There are also more tame pathways if you're looking for an easier route, but to get out and walking around. Those weave in and throughout the communities, and they are dirt, so it's a lot better than walking on the concrete. And they also have a ton of green spaces and parks in here. Each neighborhood section has its own green space area where they will have neighborhood events. You can host events there, and it's just great to break up, it's not just houses everywhere. They have some really good green spaces, and you can tell the community has been very well planned and designed. Another thing that Victory kind of lacks is a massive amount of community clubs that you can join. A community like Pebble Creek or Sun City Grand is going to have a lot more clubs in them, partially because they are a much larger community than Victory is. So you'll have unique things in those communities like an RV club or a camping club, things like that, really small niches that they'll have in there because they have a ton of clubs in those bigger communities because they have a lot of people there. But in Victory, you're kind of going to have more of the basics. You're going to have ceramics, you're going to have art club, photography, wine club, pickleball club, things like that, probably hiking club, but they may not have some of the smaller, niche clubs that Pebble Creek or Sun City Grand will. So Victory is going to have all of the basics covered in that. You'll be able to get very involved in here, but if clubs are your number one thing, then I would definitely suggest looking into Pebble Creek and Sun City Grand. I post weekly videos about the different Arizona retirement communities, so subscribe to my channel and you'll see all of the updates with the different communities so you can see which one is a good fit for you. Verrado has 2 championship golf clubs in here as well, so there is a little bit of a wait list for these clubs most of the time, so you might have to wait a couple months to get into them, but they are really great golf courses in here, so if you're interested in the fees, I can send that over to you. Another potential downside for Victory is the location of the community. You are a little bit set aside from the rest of the valley here. Victory is within the larger community of Verrado, like I mentioned before, and Verrado is the most desirable location in Buckeye. So you are in the best part of Buckeye, but you are still set a little bit aside. Verrado is going to have a downtown Main Street area with smaller shops. They have restaurants in there, great parks, and it's just a really great place to go and visit. It has a great small town feel to it, and that's just a really short golf cart ride away from Victory. You can see here on the map that you are a ways out here in the far west valley, and I'm going to be honest with you, if you're looking for a 55 plus community in the Phoenix area, there aren't going to be any central locations. You don't have many in Scottsdale or downtown Phoenix or Desert Ridge or anything like that. Most of the communities are on the outskirts of town, so this isn't a bad location when compared to any of the others, but just know that you're not super central. You're about 35 minutes away from the airport in downtown. Now, this is probably going to be a good thing for you because it's a lot quieter and more calm of an area. The good thing about Victory is that you have grocery stores, entertainment options, restaurants in here. They're building a hospital here in the community. There's a Costco right down the street. So you really do have everything that you need right here in the community. Now, one of the biggest advantages that Victory has, and in my opinion, why most people end up choosing Victory over these other communities, is just how new everything is. Victory was started in 2016, so all of the homes are fairly new. I mean, none of them are over 10 years old. They still have brand new homes in here as well, and the amenities are also very new, modern, and updated. Whereas in some of these other communities, you have to sift through the homes to see which ones are 20 years old, which ones are 10 years old, which ones are brand new, and it just kind of gets tiring going through that, trying to figure out which one is best for you. And in those communities, you often pay a premium for the newer homes, whereas in Victory, all of the homes are newer. And also, of course, the amenities, like I said, are much newer here too. They are still building brand new homes here in Victory as well, and the brand brand new homes are fairly affordable, especially when compared to some of these other 55 plus communities. If you compare it to Pebble Creek right down the street, in Pebble Creek you're going to be paying upwards of $700,000 at least for a new home, and that's for one of their twin homes that have an attached wall. So Pebble Creek is a lot more expensive for their new homes. In Victory, you can find new options in the low 400,000s, and you can find options all the way up to the low 1 millions. Those are going to be your luxurious, larger homes with beautiful views. There's a lot of resale options in here as well that are in the same range, about 350 to the mid 1 million price range. Another thing that a lot of clients mention when they visit Victory for the first time is that it's not quite as green as they expected, not quite as lush, especially when compared to some of these other communities, and that is a little bit true. I mean, it is a lot of desert landscaping here, and you do back the desert mountains right at this community, so it does have a very desert feel to it. But as you can see, they do a really great job lining the streets with trees in here, keeping a lot of green spaces in every section of the neighborhood. So in my opinion, it is a fairly lush and green community, but the desert mountains just kind of overbear that and make it feel very deserty. Victory is not the right community for everybody, but I think it has so many advantages to it that if you're considering a 55 plus community, you have to take into consideration Victory at Verrado. If you'd like to compare Victory to all of the other communities, just send me an email and I'll send you my full guide that's going to compare all of the advantages and disadvantages of some of these communities, as well as all of the fees. If you found this video helpful and you want to take a look at other top 55 plus communities and learn all about them, check out my video that I did on Pebble Creek.